is dangerous.
Commander MK Jibril MNM for consultancy say
no to drug abuse.
In the last episode, we were telling you about the school getting fed up with a drug using or substance using child and getting dismissed or suspended from school. But before the school comes to that decision, it takes a lot of study of the child and uncover so many other acts of indiscipline that this child is involved in before the school decides to either suspend or dismiss a child from school. It goes through a long hog of acts of indiscipline, acts of criminality, so to say, for a school child to be tagged a criminal. He must have gotten out of hand. That was the period the school gets into that level of decision to say, let's suspend him for some time, or let's dismiss him outrightly, drive him away, drop him out of school, withdraw this child from school. That decision is not easy by any institution to come by, but that child must have been involved in a lot of criminality, occasioned, brought about by substance abuse behavior. What are those acts of criminality that a child can get involved with that the school may no longer be able to tolerate and say this child must go home, drop him out of school, or dismiss him finally? The most popular one is what we hear today about cultism. A school child who is supposed to be studying for his degree if he's in the university, trying to finish his O-level, if he's at secondary school, try to finish his primary school or junior secondary school, gets involved in cult activities in the school, where they form gangs of peer groups to attack one another. They form gangs of peer groups to do all sorts of criminalities in the school, rape the schools, their fellow students. Or from there, as a result of cultism, they even go out of school to go and become armed robbers. Because in cultism, they are involved in so much criminalities that embolden them, taking drugs, drinking human blood. This emboldens them to feel that they can do and undo, can do anything in the society. So from school, they form gangs and they go out at night to rob. So don't be surprised. It has happened in this country. We've seen it over and over and over, where groups of armed robbers arrested as found out to be students of particular universities or institutions or the other in the country. It is drugs that bring about that. When a child is involved in drugs, it can get involved in any of such criminalities. As such, when it gets to that level, that a student has become an armed robber, a student has become a cultist in the school, disturbing other school members, other classmates, they will not want to study anymore, and they will not want other classmates to study. They can attack their fellow students even when they are in the class studying. They can go to school with weapons, arms, guns, pistols, cudgels like swords and daggers to start fighting and killing and maiming and injuring their classmates, their schoolmates. Definitely when it gets to that level, you become a dangerous child in the school. You become a dangerous student in the school, and the school can no longer tolerate your behavior. That is criminal, and that child can be dismissed from school as a result of drug intake that led him to all these acts of criminalities. Apart from that, a little thing in the school happening, it is the drug abusing child that leads the riot, demonstrations. And the riot doesn't just stop at rioting. The riot goes with destruction of property in the school, destruction of school property, government property, which are your own property. A little provocation from school, such children that are substance abusers in the school, they lead the riots in the school. And they do not just lead the riot, they lead the riot to destroy school property, destroy public property, arson. No institution will tolerate such children. As you destroy properties, parents are embarrassed by inviting them to school to come and pay for all the properties that their children destroy. Apart from that, after payment, which is one leg of the punishment, the child is dismissed from school. is withdrawn from school, the parent is asked to take his child away. The school can no longer take that child. It is drugs that are behind all this. The child becomes an arsonist in the school, destroying government property, burning down things in the school. On a little provocation, on an issue that can be resolved, he wants riots. He wants to burn everywhere. He wants to show up to his friends that he's a cultist, he's a big guy in the school, and he cannot be controlled. He's above everybody. Aside from that, in schools where you find children that abuse substances, petty stealing is all over the place. Student to student stealing of property, stealing of money. They do not allow their classmates to have respite because he needs money constantly to take the drugs. He needs money constantly to buy the drugs. That's why when people say drugs are pastimes of poverty, are caused by poverty because they don't have money, and we say no, it's not true. Those of us who are into drug abuse investigation know that it's not everybody that is a drug abuser that is poor. Drug indeed is for the rich. As you buy drug today and use, before 2-3 hours, that same drug, when you are addicted to it, is asking you to go and buy more of it. If you don't have money, how do you start going back to drug market every minute or every hour to buy more drugs? As such, a student who is into drug abuse, he steals from his colleagues. Burgle his colleagues' rooms when they are in the class, the hostels when they are in the class. Destroy their boxes and steal their money. He steals from teachers. He steals from other school attendants, other school staff. Anything you see in the school, you can carry to go and sell in order to make money, to continue the drug behavior, to buy drugs. So stealing is associated with drug intake for the students. Armed robbery is associated with such students. Cultism is associated with such children. So you can name when these criminalities are happening, when it's affecting the child already, when this child is deep into these criminalities already. Which school will take that child as a student? So the next stage is for him to drop out of school by dismissal from school. Such parents feel highly embarrassed when their students are dismissed, when their children are dismissed from school. But then the school has no choice because nobody can tolerate such indiscipline. Nobody can tolerate such criminalities in an academic institution. As such, if a child is involved in such acts, it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. From arson to robbery, from petty stealing to armed robbery, from cultism. The moment he joins a cult in the school, he can get involved in any other form of crime. But then, other things follow. A drug or substance abuse child in the school will not only takes attention away from studies, his mental ability in the school is also affected, and that is why we say his performance in the school, his educational performance, academic performance dwindle immediately. He starts performing poorly in the school, but that is not just it. The mental sense is no more there. And as he continues and get addicted to that drugs, mental illness starts. We find a school-going child started behaving like somebody who is a little bit crazy. The school may call the parents, come and take this child for rehabilitation. The parents feel embarrassed. I send this child to school to go and study. How come? His mental illness is affected. Some that are superstitious will start pointing, accusing fingers here and there without finding out what the child is doing in the school. Oh, it is from the village. Oh, some people are pursuing my child because they don't like my family. No, your child is pursuing himself. Your child is that village itself that is killing himself or herself. Because before you know it, if you don't take immediate action, that child gets mentally maladjusted. The drugs will affect his mental ability. He'll start getting crazy and crazier and to the level of craziest. So it's better the moment the school informs you as a parent, take him to rehabilitation center. That is another way. Another leg is that if it's a girl's child, that substance user, if she is a girl child in the school, if she feels they need to have money all the time to continue with this cocaine or heroin behavior, because those things demand high money and constant spending on them to buy and rebuy, because at every 2-3 hours cocaine will ask you to buy him again, buy it again, continue taking, and she cannot be going back to the parents every day to ask for money. Daddy gave you 50,000 today, 100,000 tomorrow, 1 million yesterday, 500,000 last weekend, and you're going back again now. What are you spending these monies for in the school? She may not be able to defend that all the time. So what she does as a school-going girl child is to feel that she is now free. She can make this money by herself without recourse to parents every now and then. So what does she do? At night, you find university girls, some of them who are into drug abuse, you find them at red corners, red streets in the town. That is prostitution. As drug or substance abuse girl child can go into prostitution instantly to make money and more money, to continue the drug behavior, to service the drug behavior. They go into prostitution. That is another implication for a girl child in the school, a student. It is enough reason when the school discovers to terminate the appointment, the admission of the child. But then the prostitution he gets involved in so that he can make money is not even enough. What may come up that will be more embarrassing to the parents is that this girl may get involved in pregnancy. She may get pregnant. Unwanted pregnancy, you call it. Pregnancy as a result of drug behavior that makes her to get indulged in discriminate sex by anybody just to get money. She becomes pregnant as a student, either a secondary school student or university students, and a child you send to school to go and study comes back home with pregnancy. That is enough embarrassment to the parents. That is one big implication of substance abuse to a girl child in the school. Well, you are thinking of managing that pregnancy that the child has brought home, and you just discover another deadly one in this same girl child. You know what? This daughter of ours, can contact HIV/AIDS as a result of indiscriminate sex she gets involved in school. That is what we call in our local parlance double wahala for parents. You're trying to manage the pregnancy she has brought in after being dismissed by school for being found to be a prostitute in the school. You're trying to manage the pregnancy, the unwanted pregnancy, so to say, in quote, and you now discover this child is HIV is positive. That's another big implication, bigger burden she has brought into the family home. Once the child is involved in all this, it is enough reason for school to dismiss the child. That's why when I was telling you about termination or suspension from school or dismissal, the school does not just jump into such conclusions. There must be a series of acts of criminalities that child has gotten involved in before the school gets to that conclusion to say, let the parents take him away, withdraw him from school. It's a bad example to others. And while you battle with this at home, if it's a girl child, if it's a boy child, it's now at home where you are battling on how to solve the drug problem. If you are not careful, you are not monitoring him very well, right there at home, you get indulged in more and more substance use. Before your own eyes, you may not know, except to take immediate action to take him to rehabilitation center. Where this child is heading to is more criminalities in the wider society now that the school has sent him out. And once he gets involved in that, you can equally get to the ultimate end, sudden death. He may go into armed robbery somewhere and get involved in altercation with security agencies, get shot, got killed. He may be killed by his own gangs. He may take drugs and have cardiac arrest. He may take drugs and have blood seizure in him, and sudden death will occur. That is the ultimate end of a child. A school-going child or any human being that is involved in drug addiction, the ultimate end is sudden death. and sees this child has gone through the hugs, the steps from school up to the point of dismissal, he didn't stop. Up to the child of being sent home, the parents did not take immediate action. He continues with his drug behavior. The ultimate may be sudden death, which the family may end up regretting forever. As such, we always counsel parents, when your child is in the school, don't leave him for the school authorities alone. Be part of that school as a father, or as a mother, or as a parent, as a guardian. Monitor what your child is going through in the school, what he's doing in the school. The immediate first step to know that is through his school performance. Always get in touch with the school performance and see if it is improving or decreasing in quality or value. Is the child going upward or backward in his performance in the school? Once you know that, if it is negative, find out why is it negative and take immediate action as parents. Child upbringing, either it's in school or it's outside the school, I always say it and believe that first responsibility is from the parents. It is, to me, a parent who has shrinked, who has abandoned his responsibility, that will say, because my child is in the school, let's leave him to the teachers. It is only such parents who want to abandon their parental responsibility that will now say, because my child is in secondary school or in university, the school can take care of him. I will rest. You never can rest with a child. As the school trains him, you should also get your parental training from home. As the school guides him, you should also have your home guidance, home training. That is what makes up a balanced child that becomes a better leader tomorrow. I hope our children should be tomorrow's leaders, better leaders than we are. We'll see you in our next video, where we will continue with the implication on education, because we're going to talk about the role of the school itself in preventing substance abuse, the role of government, the role of parents still in contributing to that prevention of substance abuse of a school-going child. We will treat that in our next video. Please, as you watch this video, always remember to share, comment, like, subscribe, and turn off the bell notification so that you don't miss our next episode. It promises to be very educative too. Bye-bye. See you in the next video.
Drug abuse is not good. Oh. Drug abuse is not good. Oh my yeah. If you want to live long, stay away from drug abuse.